Hey guys, it's the 9th of July, out in the garden. So we finished up picking all the white and the red currants, just a little bit left over the ripening up. And today I just started picking the black currants off this bush. And you can still see there's still a lot to go. So yeah, it's like 87 out here, so I'm going to take a break from picking. It's way too hot to be doing this right now. You can see what I've got already. So yesterday I put in that replacement plant for the elephant. Oh man, I can feel the heat just walking next to this greenhouse. Oh. The one over there. And it seems to be doing really well. No huge stress. There it is. All its little grafts. I'm just using these plant trays with some wood chips to get some shade over it. Let's check the temperature. 122. Sweet. Yeah, it is ridiculously hot in here. You can see still lots of insects active. These little guys. No wilting, barely even any tacoing on the plants. The elephant likes to taco a bit more than the lemon sour diesel. And everything else you can see is not wilting or showing any real heat stress indication, and with no watering at all. See a nice watermelon developing down here. So that's good. Here's some of that red currant pulp with the seeds that I'm drying out for the chickens, and then when it's dry, I mean it's going to be good for pretty much forever. So with tomatoes and peppers in the greenhouse, you do kind of want to keep them shaded, the fruit itself, because they can actually scorch fairly easily just from the intensity of the sun. So it's good to keep the leaves on until you harvest the fruit, and then you can trim them down to give more airflow. But don't trim any leaves that are below, you know, ripening fruit, or above ripening fruit rather. You can see this variety is doing some weird stuff where it's putting out new growth points right there out of the middle of the leaf. Tomatoes do that sometimes. Smells really good. You can see a pepper over here that I'm training by leaning it back towards the north side and then training these branches out. And peppers have kind of two growth modes. One is alternating, like cannabis grows, where it goes around like in a spiral. And you can see that up to here, this point here. Then once it goes into flowering mode, it splits, so doubles or triples, and then at every one of those nodes you get the flowers. Sunflower's doing really well. There are these big ass ants that drink the sap out of the sunflowers. Probably hiding somewhere, it's way too hot for them right now. But they come in, oh you can see it right here. And they bite into the stem and the sap comes out and then they drink it. You can see even the brassicas are doing really well, no real wilting in these huge cabbage leaves. And ever since we harvested this top, which was actually really good, really sweet, no bitterness at all, even though I went through these hot phases in the greenhouse. Ever since we harvested the main head here, we have all these new growths that came out. There's been a bunch of them and I've trimmed them all off except for these two. So you can get kind of a secondary harvest. These will never get dense, they'll never head up like the first cabbage did, but you could grow them for chicken feed. That's what I was feeding these other ones for. Or you can grow it still to use as a just, you know, green vegetable. But I tasted one of these other ones and it is way more bitter than the original one, and that's because of the heat and because we're past summer solstice as well, which causes usually brassicas to bolt to go to flower. You can see that with this one. It's actually cauliflower, and I bet it's gonna be pretty bitter. So we'll probably still harvest it and cook it up, but you can see it's already kind of past the prime point there. The sherbet here has really been taking off nicely. You can see that a branch we trained over there has some really nice growth on it. Just cannabis really eats up the heat. It loves it. The hotter the better. Oh, it just went up 2 degrees in here. Speaking of which, this little hose here, not very long, but just this length sitting in the sun gets so ridiculously hot. Like, I have to remember to flush it out if I need the water for chickens or something. Just let me... Oh yeah. Oh my god. That's like way hotter than the hottest out of, you know, a tap at a house or something like that. And because it's sitting here, this little bit of volume of water, and it's heating up from the sun. You know, I could probably make a solar shower that even Jean Pan would be jealous of. There's a little reference for all you compost nerds out there. Yeah, super hot. Ouch. And then, oh my god, that's just ridiculously hot. I should measure the temperature of that. And then it goes to really cool, actually, to maybe like 70 or so temperature. And that's because these guys cool off at night. It'd be nice to get a bit more shade on them. Maybe these beans will be able to train up there. But they have a good thermal mass, so they don't really heat up as much as like the small thermal mass of this hose. Oh my god, stepping into 87 weather never felt so good. Alright guys, my phone keeps shutting off because of the heat. So you can see everything's doing really well. This section in general has been kind of struggling a bit. The tomatoes been doing just fine. This one and that one over there are volunteers, by the way. So they're probably crossed. This one looks like the lollipop, the yellow cherry tomato we had. This is one I grew from seed. That's a Japanese black trifle. This one is some hybrid little stripes. I don't remember if I had a stripe variety last year. I'm gonna have to look back. But yeah, you can see this eggplant and these peppers and the potatoes are kind of yellowish, especially towards the bottom. And so the mulch here got really thin and the ground started to really dry out, and apparently these plants look like they've experienced a little bit of nitrogen lockout. So I put down this new layer of leaf mold, so just partially composted leaves, and you can see how well that holds on to moisture. So this stuff is coming back just from the air through condensation due to dew point change. So that should hopefully help them out. But if you compare those to their equivalent over here, you know, it's like night and day. These guys are just crushing it. Alright, so that's gonna do it. I am cooking in here, sweating bullets, just dripping wet right now. The lemon sour diesel is clearly loving it. It could probably go another 20 degrees, no problem in here. But I can't. My phone can't either. So thanks for watching, guys, and we'll see you in the next one. Keep on growing.